Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Confidence Igniter podcast. And I am your host. My name is Tamiko Green. Well, I hope each and every one of you had a very good 4th of July. I know I did. With that being said, I guess it's time to jump into this episode that I am so excited about. Today's episode is titled The Power of Decisions. I'm going to say that again. Today's episode is titled The Power of Decision. You know, every life changing moment starts with a decision. A decision to leave, a decision to stay, a decision to start a business, a decision to go back to school, a decision to stop making excuses and move forward in your life. Decisions are powerful. I'm reminded of the moment that I made a decision to say, you know what, enough is enough. When I was going through some life situations and I said, I deserve better. And that's when my life started to change. That's when my situation started to change because there is power in our decisions, but not just power in our decisions, it's also being willing to stick to it. See, we're good at making decisions, but sometimes in the midst of the decisions that we make, sometimes when things become challenges, then we start to rethink our decision. See, if you decided to live life differently, and then all of a sudden you hit a setback, and then you start thinking to yourself, man, should I just go back to what I used to do because that was better? Or should I just stay the course because technically this is a better route? Well, probably you should stay the course. Because, see, when you make a decision, the road is not going to always be easy. It's not. You're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to motivate and inspire yourself or listen to videos that will inspire you, read books that are inspiring. But there will be moments when the road gets easier. And then you look back and say, man, I made it through. See, when you make a decision, life changes. No matter what the decision is, okay? I would hope that the decision is a positive one and one that will serve you well in life. But however, if it is not, whatever your decisions are, that's what your outcome would be. So if you make a decision to say, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to better myself. Now, keep in mind, you're going to have some challenging moments, whether it's with the homework or trying to find time to do the work and also time for yourself and your family if you have a family. But the end result, look at the end result. What will you have accomplished? See, many people say, I want to be successful. Make a decision. Make a decision to be successful in what? Because I believe that it is in our decisions, in our discipline, and our drive that keeps us going. See, you make that decision and then you discipline yourself. How do I see myself? How do I see my outcome? No matter what, I am going to make it. I am going to pull through. I'm not giving myself an option of quitting because quitting is always the easiest thing, but it's also something that you end up regretting. There are many times that people have made decisions to move forward in their life, to step into new territory. And because the terrains became so challenging, they decided to quit. And then years down the road, they look back and said, man, I wish I had kept going because my life would have been so different if I had. And so a lot of times they just sit on the sidelines of life, wishing and wanting, not recognizing you are still here. You're still breathing. So even if you made a decision and then you went back on your word to yourself, yes, I said that, went back on your word to yourself, because if you make a decision and you bail out on yourself, think about when other people tell you they're going to do something for you and they bail out on you, how do you feel? So how do you feel when you bail out on yourself? But even if you did, you still have another opportunity to make good on your word. Maybe you'll make a different decision. But let me tell you something. If you want to move forward in life, you got to make a decision to do something. You just can't not sit on the sidelines of life and say, well, you know what? The reason why I can't is because of this reason or that reason. Those are excuses. And some of us has more excuses than band-aids. I said that. Some of us have more excuses than band-aids because it's easy to come up with an excuse. I could have made an excuse for not doing this podcast. And technically, I'll keep it real with you. This is Monday, and I normally record on Sunday. But I didn't make up an excuse for not recording on Sunday. I actually had recorded on Sunday. But what happened was what I recorded was off brand. It wasn't something that technically I should have released. So I said, well, let me go to sleep on this, because I want to be true to myself and I want to be true to those that spend their time listening to the podcast. I want to make sure that I'm making an impact because, sometimes we come up with these great ideas, but you know what? They're ideas that we shouldn't be entertaining. They're great, don't get me wrong, but probably just not at that moment. Okay. So I made a decision like, okay, I'm going to record on Monday and then just release it. See, a lot of times we say, well, they don't know. It's not about they. Your life is about you. We make our life about other people sometimes. That becomes an excuse. But where there's a will, there's a way. When you want to do something really, really bad, okay, nothing can stop a man or woman with a made up mind. When you are determined to move forward in your life, when you are determined to make a change, when you say to yourself, this is it. I've come to the end of the road. It's time to make a turn. And I'm going to make a decision. And I'm going to change my life. Because I don't like the way I'm living. Guess what happened? You make that decision and you change. You discipline yourself. You say, no matter what, I'm going to make this happen. Whatever this is for you, because everybody has something different that they want to see happen in their life. Some people want to go back to school. Okay, and they have went back and forth with themselves, the pros, the cons, why I should, why I shouldn't, it's going to be hard. But then they come to a final decision and say, hard or not, I'm going. Some people have gotten tired of on their jobs. Okay, they went back and forth, what I'm going to do. But every time I go to work, it's challenging. Things are always changing. People don't treat me right. Whatever that story is. But in order to change the story, you have to make a decision. Because the story is not just going to change. Your life is not going to change if you don't do something. If you continue to sit on the edge of night waiting for the world to turn, let me tell you something. If you don't turn the world, at least your world, it's not going to change. You got to become bold in order to have or create the beautiful life that you desire. That's the only way it's going to happen. No one is coming to save you. No one. So you can sit there and wait all day long. You can come up with every excuse that you want to come up with. But let me explain something to you. All the excuses in the world will never change your life. Making a decision and putting action to it. Discipline yourself. Find the drive when the terrain becomes challenging. That's what changes your life. I'm speaking from what I know. Because when I look back over my life, I'm just so amazed. Because I put in the work and still working. Still putting in the work. Because I choose to make a difference in my life and in the lives of others. I mentioned about maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago that I do identity shifting coaching. But guess what? I had to put in the work. I had to put in the work in order to be able to get certified to do it. Sometimes we'll get up and be like, man, this is a good idea. We jump in the water and be like, I don't like this. So then start over. I'm gonna tell you, life is good and getting better. It didn't start out by saying it's the best. I said life is good. And let me explain to you what makes it better. When you look at your life and you see something that needs to be tweaked or something that needs to be changed, instead of complaining, instead of wishing, instead of spending your time looking at TV or scrolling social media, and there's nothing wrong with looking at TV, okay? And there's nothing wrong with scrolling social media. But if you got something that you need to fix in your life, and yet you're complaining about it, something you have to give up. But however, when you're working on yourself and you make a decision, something you have to eliminate. You have to set some boundaries. Like I recently set some boundaries that every day that when I come in the evening, guess what? I'm going to work out. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. Guess what? That's 5 minutes more than I did prior, but that's a decision. So sometimes we make decisions and we think everything is supposed to happen right then and there. So we pile all this stuff on our plate thinking, oh, yeah, okay, all of this, I got to get it all done. No, you don't. Make a decision and do 5 minutes, like 5 minutes of writing, write a book. Just say, I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to write. For me, I want to be in better shape. So I said 5 minutes, start with 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes on the row machine. How's that going to hurt you? Come on now. You going to spend 5 minutes doing something? Sometimes you have to convince yourself to do it, but it's okay. It's you. It's you. You're building a relationship with yourself, not with nobody else. Setting boundaries and say, this is my moment. This is your moment. This is your moment to make a decision to take your life to the next level. Now, everybody has a different next level. So whatever that level in life looks like to you, make a decision. Make it happen. You owe it to yourself. I know you've heard the term that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, but technically, you know what, for those of us that is not in the graveyard, okay, the richest place is in your mind. You have a gold mine up there, and it will produce whatever you say it will produce. Make a decision and produce the life that you desire. When the terrain gets tough, don't back down. Don't make a decision to go back to something. No, make the decision that you're going to keep moving forward. Tell yourself, I am made for this moment. I am made for this, and keep moving. Change your life. Change the lives around you. Make an impact. You were made for this. Life is good and getting better. Well, this is the end of our episode. Yes, this is the end of our episode. So, well, with that being said, I hope you take a moment out to like, share, and subscribe. And before I go, there's a couple of announcements that I have. One of them is, every third Saturday, Fortified City Christian Church do their food distribution, and the location is 2477 Canton Road in Marietta, Georgia. Once again, 2477 Canton Road in Marietta, Georgia, from the hours of 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. In Marietta, Georgia, Fortified City Christian Church. They have their food distribution. So if you are in need of food, please definitely stop by there. Well, I have two other events coming up. One that's going to be taking place on Saturday, September the 26th from the hours of 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. This is brought to you by TAV. TAV is a nonprofit, stands for Turning Around Futures. They is having a 70s and 80s throwback give back party. Let's step back in time. Yes, that address is 861 Washington Avenue in Marietta, Georgia. 861 Washington Avenue, Marietta, Georgia. The tickets are $50 per person. There will be food, fun, and games, dancing, you name it. Let's step back into the 70s and 80s. Wear your 70s and 80s outfit, and let's come and have a good time. And tickets can be purchased on Zeffy. There will be no tickets sold at the door. So definitely hope to see you there. And I have one other event coming up. It is from Mental Health Me. They have their annual gala. As I said before, I went to the one last year and it was just totally off the chain. Just an amazing event. This event will be held on October 10th. October 10th. Red carpet begins at 6 p.m. and the program starts at 7 p.m. It is formal attire is required. Tickets for this event is sold on Zeffy. And if you decide to purchase now throughout the month of July, if you use the discount code ROYAL2026, you can get a discount on those tickets. The location of this event is 861 Washington Avenue, Marietta, Georgia. Once again, that is 861 Washington Avenue in Marietta, Georgia. Well, I hope to see you at both of those events because I truly will definitely be there. So you will get the opportunity to meet the Confidence Igniter in person. Well, with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week. Do something great, make a decision, and know that life is good and getting better. You take care.